So there's a story out of Florida where this white man threatened this young black child, 9-year old, threatened to, do some harm to her, all because she was selling candy at his front doorstep. Now, when I first heard the story, yes, I was upset, like, man, here we go. These them folk, they just acting up. But then logic hit me and I said, man, let me do some more research because for some reason, something about the story doesn't seem quite right. So I went and found an article that I want to go over also. But first, I'm gonna play this video. We're gonna play this video, break it down some, and then we're gonna go to the go to the article and see if I'm reading into this correctly or reading too deep into this. Again, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And when you do subscribe, hit the notification bell so every time I drop a video, you will be the first to know about it. Let's hit it.
And thank you for joining us for the second half hour, The Factor Uncensored. A white man in Florida under a lot of scrutiny after threatening to shoot a 9-year-old black girl who was stopping by his house to sell candy. This happened earlier this month. Tyler Chambers posted surveillance video of the girl approaching his front door on Facebook with the caption, "You're lucky we weren't home to shoot your dumb ass bitch." The child can be heard cursing before leaving the doorstep. Let's take a listen.
I just wanted to let y'all know that you're.
Now, Chambers' defense, he says this angered him, what you just heard, and he believed the girl was acting as a decoy for a planned break-in. He claims he was also worried about his wife and 7-month-old child at home. The family of the little girl involved say that is not true, saying they actually live in the same neighborhood, the very neighborhood. Chambers has received a lot of backlash. Some have called for him to be arrested and lose his job. The question is this our America? Joining us here on The Factor on.
Hold on. Before we go into this panel, I want y'all to understand exactly what happened in what order. So, from what I gather, and tell me if I'm wrong now, the young girl went to their door to sell candy. For some reason, they didn't answer. Well, I guess the man said the wife and his little kid was there. So they didn't come to the door. Um, then young sister, cursed out the people and left. So what the white man did was took a screenshot of her pic of the little girl and said, "You're lucky we wasn't home to, do some harm to you." So it was in that order. Now, no way, shape, and form am I condoning threatening a child. Can't do it. But then on the other hand, to be the devil's advocate, you can't trust these kids nowadays because you see a lot of news stories where these young kids are robbing people, deleting each other, you know, uh, stealing cars, breaking into homes. Little kids are doing this. I'm talking about 11, 12, 13-year olds are doing this. So it's like, what do you do? What was this movie? It was a movie back in the day, I think, with Samuel L. Jackson. And I think it was Samuel L. Jackson. But anyway, I remember the movie where there's a guy, he was a sniper, and he was in war and he had to take a shot, but it was like a kid. And he had to decide if he wanted to take the shot. He took the shot, deleted the kid. When they went to the kid, there was no weapon. Like there was no weapon, no bomb, no nothing. So then they tried to take the soldier to trial. He was about to be found guilty, but then they found out that the kid did have a weapon, did have a gun. That by the time the soldiers got there, the mother or whoever came and took the weapons off the kid, left the kid there, and then took off. But my point is, that happens. You see stories of like wars in other countries, and these young kids, we're talking about like early teens having AR-15s, AK-47s in war in other countries. So you can't just say, that, believe all kids, trust all kids. But again, she's a child, she had no weapon, she looked like she wasn't threatening. So I don't, like I say, in this instance, I'm gonna tell you like this here. In this instance, if I was seeing that happen, no matter what my youngin did, I'm gonna come see you. It's as simple as that. Let's just get that out the way. I'm gonna come see you. But anyway, let's watch the panel a little bit and see what they got to say.
Uncensored, we have with us Dr. Ruth Olson and Todd Smith. So, your thoughts on this?
There's quite a bit of confusion over it. First of all, I can't understand. I went back and listened to the audio of the little girl and what she was saying at the door. But mainly, I want to say that any threat against a child is unacceptable. And
I agree.
to refer to the child that way, we are in a different America when someone thinks that it's okay to do that, and then the audacity to then publish it or post it. That's a terrible thing.
But yeah, but so he didn't threaten her while she was at the door. Let's understand that. He wrote this out. You know, Twitter gangsters, internet gangsters, keyboard gangsters, keyboard killers write anything, you know, behind the screen and then post it and think that nothing will happen. Not worried about anything. But the issue with this is somebody did come see him. People were starting to make threats. People knew where he lived. They knew his job. So this dude done, from what I've read, that he done moved out of his neighborhood. I think he lost his job and pretty much is in hiding because of what he did. So again, when you do that stuff behind that camera or do that stuff behind that keyboard, understand in this day and age, folks find ways to come see you real easy. Like, so no, don't sit there and threaten no child. That's not gonna happen. I mean, that's not gonna fly. No matter what that child done, what the man should have did was posted the young girl's picture and said, does anyone know this child? Because this child, if you know who this child is, the parents, please let me know. I would like to speak to their parents. That's what he should have done. Now I understand he said he was afraid for his wife and his child. I get it, but still, he should have asked for, like in the group chat, do y'all know who this child is? Who this child is, or the family? I need to speak to their parents, and left it at that. And then, you know, once the conversation was ready to be had, you know what I'm saying, then you go and say what happened. But threatening a child, nah, that's not a good look.
To threaten a child like that, and we have to continue to teach our children places that they can't go in their own neighborhoods.
This is not that situation. This is not that situation. This is not like you don't go across the tracks. You stay on this side of the tracks with your own people. You go across the tracks. You know, I can't protect you. When you walk across the street, you're walking down the street, and you see a white man, you see an old white woman, put your head down. This ain't that. This child was blatantly just disrespectful for whatever reason. That part of the video is not being shown, has not been shown. I saw a video where the girl was just standing up there up until a point that I guess she was about to curse, but it didn't show, like I said, the interaction that happened before she started cursing.
That's not a good
And she's 9.
sign.
Did you have concerns about anything she said as a little girl?
I had concerns about the language that was used and why would she be saying that kind of thing in a ring camera.
Right, like I said, because there was no interaction between her and him. He saw this later and posted it. You know what I'm saying? Posted a screenshot, but didn't post the whole video. Because look at it, she's like looking through. Wait a minute, I didn't see this part. So I'm saying she's looking all through the glass, so she might see the wife and the kid in there. They probably because you got a screen door. They probably had a door open. You know, the inside door open. Okay, now it's starting to make sense. They probably had the inside door open. She probably looking through the glass and see someone in there, see something moving around, might hear the child TV on, and for some reason got upset that they didn't come to the door. And so she took it upon herself to cuss these folks out. Somebody need to teach this child some manners and how to act in front of anybody's house. Because if she would have came to my house doing that again, I want to see her parents.
I did have a concern about that. And so that does need to be addressed. But there is nothing that could justify a person referring to her in the way he did and to threaten her life.
Read that, y'all. I mean, read it. You're, first of all, he's did the wrong you're. South Fork community in Riverview. See, the thing about these Facebook posts, see, we got same thing in our neighborhood, but you can, let's say you are in other, groups that's in your city or in your surrounding areas. Somebody can click on your post, somebody click on your name, see who you're following, what groups you're in, all this kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because we get it all the time that people act like they live in our neighborhood and want to join. They'd be like, and then all we do is just people ask, hey, anybody know who these people are? Because they saying they live in the neighborhood. We're like, nah, we don't know them. They just get blocked. But my thing is, you can find out who people are and where they at. And it ain't Tyler Chambers. I mean, shoot, it ain't too hard about that. Ain't too hard to find. So yeah, you're lucky. We weren't home to shot your. He said shot. No punctuation. Ain't spelling. Using the wrong words. Yeah. Let's continue.
That's not acceptable.
Obviously, he was shocked, Todd, when many people in his own community turned on him, saying this is totally inappropriate. And they also sent the video and the post to her mother as well.
And that says a lot about him. For him to be surprised that other adults would take offense to the way he responded to a child in that way. And like Dr. Ruth said, the young lady probably shouldn't use that type of language. But I grew up in an era where the adults were the example. No matter what I did wrong, an adult didn't copy what I did. If I said something out of pocket, they didn't come back out of pocket with me. They sat me down. That's not appropriate. You do not use that language like that at this age. I couldn't curse around adults as an adult. My grandparents, stuff like that. You don't talk like that in our presence. But they were the example. They didn't start. My grandmother didn't start cussing at me. She's like, that's just not appropriate. So
Understand what he's saying. He said the adults are the example. I feel that plays a big part in as to why this child thought what she was doing was okay. Like seriously. Yes, I'm getting into parenting. Let's start there. Let's start with us fixing our own communities first. Your child basically just cussed somebody out on ring camera, and it was too dumb to even know that anything on camera that you can be recorded and replayed. But she don't care. So I think again, it's about, like saying, the parenting.
we have to get back to adults being adults and stop. I think it's just clout chasing. I mean, and I say that because everybody rushes to social media to put stuff out there, and you just make yourself look bad. I don't know what the man was thinking by putting that out there. Did he think he would get sympathy? But no child is a threat to me. No 9-year-old girl is a threat to me. I don't care if I have a 7-month-old at the house. I can handle that situation better. And if I have a problem with her as a child, I will seek out her parents and we have a discussion.
Right.
But I won't cuss a child, threaten a child,
Right.
and put it on social media.
Dr. Ruth.
It's like I want to do that with women. It's like if a woman get out of line, and before I sit there and cuss her out or threaten her or anything, I'll be like, man, where your husband at? Where your man at? I need to speak to him. Where your father? I need to speak to him. Because this ain't gonna work. It's just not gonna work.
Ruth, your thoughts about how the public is handling this. Obviously, they're out for blood and then they're angry, rightfully so. But now the goal is to try and get him fired, lose his income. Your thoughts about that?
Well, loses income. He works at a car wash. I don't know. He has a right to an income. But what I would like to do, because maybe I'm not that saved, is I would like for him to meet some of the brothers that I know in the bow ties and have a conversation. So
and you do mean a conversation.
And I do mean a conversation and perhaps a little laying on of hands.
Well,
That's
wow.
that's what I think.
Dr. Ruth shocked me tonight.
Yeah.
Wow. All right, Todd, your thoughts about blood? Not as in physical violence, but wanting him terminated.
I wouldn't be the person that called for him to be fired, but I wouldn't be upset if he got fired because you're an adult and he's in a managerial role at the car wash. That's a leadership position, obviously.
So let's talk about the elephant in the room. If he is a manager at a car wash, I'm just going to say he is not making a whole lot of money, I would assume. But from what it looked like, they lived in a fairly nice looking, decent neighborhood. But then this young girl who, did what she did, the person that came to her defense was her mama. I have yet to hear from her daddy. So I'm trying to figure out, what does her mama do for a living to where to live? But she was saying it was family members. So maybe she lived with family in a house and not living there by herself. Because it says she was out there with her and her cousin. So they either live in the same house or they live in the same neighborhood. So what I'm getting at is they're not really high income earners in this story. So I'm trying to figure out, because hey, I'm from Texas, I'm from the South, so I'm going to ask just a serious question. Why would these two be in the same neighborhood for the most part? How did they end up living in the same neighborhood? Is she making a lot of money or is he making a little money? That's what I want to know. Just a question.
You don't have those characteristics to lead this organization, to lead this company. And I shop at certain places, the place that he goes to. If they didn't do something to him, that would make me feel some type of way about supporting them.
Mm-hmm.
So they have to do something. I'm not going to call for blood. But I'm not going to be offended if he shed some blood, figuratively.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm not concerned about him.
You made that clear, Dr. Ruth.
Karma. I want karma to come on around and
seeing something like this, big picture.
Yeah.
In America, once again, your thoughts?
Well,
do we still have a long way? And we have about a minute left.
Clearly, we have a long way to go. And the other thing that concerns me is this is Florida.
Mm-hmm.
This is the stand your ground state. This is a place where things have happened to people and they've gotten away with it. And so, he could say, I felt threatened or, that kind of thing. And this there's a nastiness in the environment, in the country, in the way people are talking now. It starts at the top. But people feel that they can do certain things and say certain things. And we have to educate our children about where to go.
10 seconds.
We just have to be an example. I get angry sometimes too, but I have to check myself to make sure that I'm an example for the younger people. This is not how we handle problems. This is not how we talk to kids or people in general.
All right. We want to thank you both for.
So you heard them talk. Now I want to get real quick. Let's get into this article. This is from the Daily Mail. Like I told y'all for many years, I want to get more the most details, get down deep, make a deep dive into these stories. I like going to the Daily Mail because they give a lot of details. Or I just like reading, period. If you read, I would say, subscribe to your local newspaper, Daily Mail, Wall Street Journal, some national news outlets, anybody that does actual journalism and actually type stories out. You know what I'm saying? Do that. So that way you won't really base your choices and decisions too much on emotion. But anyway, this is from the dailymail.com, and they read, Mom reveals her furious response to homeowner who threatened to shoot her innocent little girl on his doorstep. Let's get these ads off her. When a mother found out that a man threatened to shoot her 9-year-old daughter on his doorstep as she innocently sold candy in her neighborhood, she took matters into her own hands and grabbed a gun. Beyond Shabazz, okay, from Tampa, Florida, learned about the horrific threat against her daughter, Sincere, after Tyler Chambers posted an image of the girl to a community Facebook group on April 14th when she rang his doorbell to sell candy bars. Beyond and Sincere, living in this country, I just hope Beyond has her own business, making a lot of money and passing down her knowledge to her child, because it's going to be pretty tough for them to be taken seriously on job applications with names like this in this country. I'm just saying. I'm just speaking reality. But if you go to college, get a degree, what I'm saying, in something in careers that have high demand for people, she may just make it. But anyway, in his unhinged post, Chambers, a white man, wrote, "You're lucky." Like I said, he can't write too well, but he's a manager at a car wash. "You're lucky we weren't home to shoot your A dumb B." It quickly went viral and drew a slew of reactions across the community and country. But when Shabazz saw it, her motherly instincts kicked in immediately. The day after her daughter walked up to Chambers' home, Shabazz was at the grocery store with her sister, started to text and call her several times. Again, there's no father in the picture. Once she got back home, family members ran outside and informed her that Sincere was viral and that her face was everywhere. After seeing the post, Shabazz, in the heat of the moment, grabbed her license firearm and made her way over to Chambers' home, she told DailyMail.com. So they reached out to her. Again, there's a silly little word. Anyway. And here's the mother. I want y'all to look at that for a minute. I'm not saying anything is right or wrong with this picture at all. She soon came to her senses and decided it was best to call the police to take care of the issue. When officers arrived, she made them aware of the gun in her bag and told them that she knew she was wrong for initially reacting like that. Although Chambers posted a screenshot of her daughter to the page, Shabazz saw the video of Sincere approaching his home that day. Shabazz allowed Sincere to have fun outside after school that day with her 11-year-old cousin, something she said was normal for them. So maybe they all lived in the same house together. Sister, cousin. Yeah, maybe her and her sister live in the house. She said she knew her daughter would sometimes go around the block selling items, but she wasn't aware of it that day. So daughter got the little hustle in her, so I'm gonna give it to her. She just got to learn how to talk to people and not run off potential customers, because you might not get them today, but you may be able to get them tomorrow. So you just be respectful. Shabazz says Sincere got the idea to do that after witnessing Girl Scout girls do the same. See, I'm talking about, got that hustler mentality. Sure, they can do it, I can do it. In a clip of Sincere approaching Chambers' door, Shabazz said it was hard to see her daughter because it was blurry, but she clearly heard her curse several times. After being made aware of her daughter's profane language, Shabazz said she took away her devices and had a serious talk with her. And that's good. That's good. Chambers has since deleted the post and deactivated his social media account, but before he did, he alleged that the girl was acting as a decoy for the alleged break-in at his home, but did not provide evidence to support his accusation. I think he saw the cousin in the back, and you know what I'm saying, and that's something that if you look online, that happens. Like, young girl, young kid, hell, somebody posing to be UPS or whatever, come knock on your door, ring your door. That's what, like, now, really, if you answer the door when UPS or Amazon come to your house, then you pretty much silly, because they usually in where I live, they just drop the packages off and leave. And you got a camera too, you got no reason to be opening no doors at all. Just say no, no thank you, and keep it moving. What they say, Easter? After being okay. They say decoy. So he could have been afraid that she was gonna come in, and somebody gonna come behind her and kick in the door. Excuse me. I'm gonna say she's not doing too well. Shabazz said, adding that Sincere picture has not been a fun, easygoing child she normally is. He later went on to seemingly explain his actions and choice of words, writing, "I saw that on my camera and have a wife and a 7-month-old at home, which I would protect as you would. I was not, I was hot when I posted it, which is why I deleted it right away. I could have handled it a lot different." So he saw what he did, and then, well, once you put it online, man, that stuff never disappears. Chambers said, adding that he wanted to find the girl's parents to have a conversation with them. So you want to do it after the fact. All right, he continued, but yes, I could have handled it a lot different and wanted to apologize, but I was trying to protect the family and it was the wrong way. Shabazz saw his response and told dailymail.com, I don't have anything to say to him. Mhm. Since the vicious attack, the heartbroken mother said her child has not been herself. She's not doing too well, Shabazz said, adding that sincere has not been the fun, easygoing child she normally is. We'll say she shut all the way down. The mother continued, adding that she is scared to leave the house because she fears she might be recognized. Shabazz filed a police report against Chambers and is currently working with the police, although she felt like the officers were trying to defend him when they talked with her about it. She launched a GoFundMe. Lord have mercy. She launched a GoFundMe page to help raise money for her family's legal fund. As of Thursday afternoon, more than $15,000 was raised. Okay. Shabazz also created a change.org petition to get Chambers arrested for his online threats against her daughter. So that's what you should do. Legal. Take it legal, man. That's how you fight. That's how you fight there. Take legal and money. That's all they understand. Our lives were irrevocably, good Lord, altered when Tyler Chambers brazenly threatened my 9-year-old daughter online, stating in no uncertain terms that he wished harm upon her for simply knocking on his door, she wrote, and cursing him out. She forgot that part. I think she got this from Chat GTP or some kind of template because that's why I was kind of thrown off by reading it because I remember, you know, this picture here and I'm not really seeing those words come out of her mouth. TikTok. Wonder what's her page. Beyond Shabazz. Okay. Anyway, back to this. More than 1,300 people have signed a petition. Many social media users have called for Chambers to be fired from his job as general manager at Mr. Car Wash in Tampa. Oh, so they are, man, they ain't playing. The company has received a slew of negative comments online since the incident unfolded. Oh, that's going to get you fired, bro. Making us lose business. But then again, you got them folk who are going to be on this team that's going to probably show up and get more car washes. So it is unclear if he still works there. DailyMail.com contacted the company for a comment. Police told Shabazz that Chambers, his wife Cassie, and their 7-month-old child moved out of their home after their address and personal information was shared online following the incident. Amazing. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna try to play this video, see if it'll play, and then
I'm a scientist, and I support more students taking the ACT college admission test because the
let me see. Okay. How much of it? What does it show? Really? Mm. Well, it didn't really show. Didn't show anything. So, anywho, so anyway, here's my final take on the last thing I need to say. When I was, man, was I even? I had to been a teenager early because we lived in this house up until I was in the 10th grade. So it had to be anywhere between I want to say the 8th and 10th grade. Playing in the backyard with friends of mine, playing basketball. And I had a friend who was like, I think I told the story before. He loved motorcycles. His dad had one. So I think he always talked about motorcycles. So my neighbor next to, we had a basketball goal in the back driveway. We had an alley, so basketball goal in the driveway. My neighbor my neighbor next to us, he had a motorcycle. You can kind of see in the backyard had like a 6-foot wood fence, but between the slats, you can kind of see there was a motorcycle in there. So we back there playing, and then my homeboy looked over and he noticed that there was a motorcycle. So what he did, like I say, it's a wood fence went around their house, but on our side it was a chain link, like a little 4 foot chain link fence. He climbs up on the link fence and looks over the neighbor's yard. Now I'm trying to tell him, man, get out, like get out them people's yard. The neighbor saw him and started cussing him out. Like, hey, what you doing in my yard? Blah, 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 like that. Homeboy looked, jumped down, took off running. Right? I'm like, I'll be down. Left me there. I couldn't go nowhere. It's my house. Neighbor comes and starts threatening, talking about, boy, I'm gonna bust a, well, he says, I don't know where he was from, but he talking about based on he gonna bust a cap on me and stuff like that. Look at me. I said, man, that wasn't me. He said, man, I saw you. I said, man, it was not me. Now, young, dumb, stupid. That ain't, not snitching, I guess what you want to call it. Said, that was not me looking over your fence. And he still threatening. So he went in the house. I guess I went in the house. I don't know. And then, like, I didn't say nothing for a little while, but then I went and told, after a while, I went and told my parents. I remember it was dark when I told them. And I went and told my mom and dad what happened. And I told them, I told them who it was. I said it was Ed. I said it wasn't me. Ed was looking at their motorcycle. And I told them what the dude said. My mom was pissed. My dad was pissed. They got up. I told y'all the stories of my dad and his little 6 shooter or whatever, and whatever it was, 38, I guess. Got up and they went over there and had a talk with the man. My heart was beating because I'm like, dang, I hope nothing happened. Because that dude was like, I don't know if he was Jamaican with dreads and stuff like that. I don't know what it was, but they went over there and had a talk with him and came back and never heard from that story again. But the issue is, and this is why I say, whether I looked at the fence over the fence or whether my homeboy looked over the fence, like I said, the way that dude was threatening, but again, who knows where he's from? He might from a place where cats our age, steal, rob, gang bang or whatever. But that wasn't me. But again, like I said, threatening a child, you threaten somebody's children, the parents are gonna come see you. Whether the child is right or wrong, the parents are gonna come see you. Like I said, so whether it was me looking over that fence or Ed looking over that fence, if once I told my parents that story, no matter what, they was gonna go see that dude. Because first of all, you threatened to do some harm to my child, so we need to know what you're talking about, so we can end this right now and get this over with. But hey, bottom line, white dude was wrong. This man here was wrong, way wrong. This young girl here, Sincere, she was wrong for cursing for whatever reason, and we still ain't got to the bottom of that. And I can't wait to get to the bottom of that story. She was wrong for cursing him out. He was wrong for cursing her out. And her, I won't say if she's right or wrong, but she did go with the gun at first. So good thing there wasn't nobody there when she had the gun, because bad things could happen, and it is what it is. But anyway, tell me what you think about this story. What side of the fence are you on this? Leave your comments below. Share what the world is having intelligent conversation. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Those 4 things cost you nothing but maybe a couple of minutes out your day, but it means everything over here at this channel. If you would like to support the channel financially, you can give super thanks, super chat, super stickers, or you can go to the description box where you can PayPal, GoFundMe, Cash App, not GoFundMe, good Lord, PayPal, Cash App, Zelle, those things there. But if you would like to have something tangible for your dollars, which a lot of people do, go to marlonmorale.com, go to our Shopify store. Both links are in the description box also, or you can just hit that shop button below this video. Check out the products, all the luxury products that we have. We got fragrances that last all day. We got beard products, silk products, handbags, and much more. Check it out. You will not be disappointed. And with that being said, I'll leave you in peace, and I'll see you on the other side.